I'm really, really excited. It's probably the first time I'm so excited to be in November, because there's this finish line, which is end of the year, and we can start moving towards this finish line. Hi, Wiswan, good morning. Start moving towards this finish line. And finish lines are getting important to me as I get older, because there is going to be a finish line whether I like it or not. And so it's like the hourglass, it's running out. Better get that exam question done quickly before you run out of time and you got to hand in the paper. Okay. Good morning, Susan. Morning, Hock Seng. Okay, let's get started on today's this topic. I want to share my screen. Okay, so this is our topic for today, a Motivational Monday. Title I called Saving Lives. Last week I attended the launch of this book, Walking on Clouds, Neuroleadership Lessons from Summiting the 7 Summits, written by R.J. Nagarajan, or Rajan as I call him. Now, Rajan and I first met in 2013 when we were climbing Mount Rinjani in Indonesia, climbing with Khoo Swee Chow. And Rajan has since climbed all the highest peaks in every continent on Earth. He was honored last year in 2023 by the Malaysia Book of Records as the first Malaysian to do that. Rajan lost the fingers of his right hand due to frostbite when climbing Mount Everest last year. I only found out he nearly lost his life descending from Everest when Hui Xuan interviewed him last week. And so here's an excerpt of the interview where Rajan recounts how his life was saved.
Yeah. So I was actually following you very closely on Facebook, and was very concerned when I read about your frostbite after Everest, right? And eventually, the battle was lost, trying to save the right hand, right, the fingers, right? So you had to suffer that devastating setback, and it's obviously painful and everything. So, I mean, how do you deal with such a thing like that? And, was this like your lowest point?
Great question, man. It was more mental than physical.
Really?
Yeah, because I went into depression. Yeah. So it was really, really challenging. Yeah. For somebody, I mean, if you're an active person and you've been out there, touching other people's lives and working on transformation, I really had to go through this journey in terms of overcome it. So it was more mental. Yeah. Even till today, I struggle with. My mental health is great, but I still struggle with the occasional. I get. I wake up in the middle of the night and say, okay, am I still unconscious in the mountain, or where am I? Because I had what exactly happened was after summiting Everest, on the way down, we ran out of oxygen, including my Sherpa. So both of us ran out of oxygen because on the way up, the weather was really bad. All right, so we had to go through snowstorms. Snowstorms were really. So it was heavy, and then we took a chance. I said we continue, right? So it was great on summit, but on the way down we found out, oh my God, no oxygen.
Okay.
So at the altitude about 8-7 something, yeah, after Hillary step, totally, I was like, I was struggling to breathe. I was wondering why, and then I told my Sherpa, hey, can you check why? What's going on? Then he said, oops. Your oxygen is like it's very, very low. Then he said, check his. I looked at his, so probably a bit higher. So we exchanged the oxygens, but it didn't last that much. Yeah. And he went down for to go down and look for oxygen. Right. Then radioed and all that. So I was trying to manage to go down on my own. I took like every 4 steps I would just collapse.
Oh no!
Because this is how it was. Yeah, when you are out of oxygen, it's like you'll be breathing something like this. So you are really gasping for breath in that sense. That's how it was. Yeah. So it was really, really challenging. There were occasions where I collapsed. Then I don't know how long I'm knocked off. Then I try to get back and then pull myself out. I said, no, I'm going back home. I keep telling myself I'm going back home. Yeah. And that's how I got up. And then keep going down. I still collapse. Yeah. Get up, down, up, down. So that's how the whole battle took almost 8 hours.
Wow.
Just to get to the balcony.
Okay.
Balcony is about 8,600. I'm still not off the dead zone yet. Sorry, 8.4 I think. Yeah. So not off the dead zone yet.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah, still above 8,000.
yeah, and then one of the Sherpas brought up oxygen. So a couple of oxygens, one for my Sherpa and for myself. So by then I think both of us were wasted. We are like, we are
Spent.
Yeah, spent in a sense. Like we spent too much time up in in the dead zone, almost because of climbing up and coming down. I think we probably would have spent almost easily about almost 24 hours about that, about 20 hours already.
Yes.
So that's then we decided. Then another Sherpa came up, two of them. So they tried to help me walk. So I tried walking down. As I went along, I keep collapsing, and my Sherpa also was exhausted. So
even when you put on the oxygen.
Yeah, because it's been too long up there already without oxygen. Yeah. So then these guys, the two of them, hooked up to my harness and started dragging me down a bit. So they drag, and then I think they dragged for a couple of hours. They were tired. They also ran out of oxygen. My oxygen also exhausted. So to the point, like, they are like, I lost. What should we do now? Then the Sherpas went down because they had this. I can understand why, because they had to save themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one went down. The second one went down. There were another. Even my Sherpa also had to go down. There's one more guy who wrapped me up. He tried pulling me down. Probably went down a bit further, but at the final 100 more meters, he collapsed too. So he went back. So they thought I was dead. I was a goner. I was going into hallucination. I was going into in and out and in and out. I can tell already, I was feeling very tipsy, and then suddenly slowly getting into darkness, and then not coming out, and then I have to. Is that death? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. These are the kind of dreams I still have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had to pull myself out. Say no, I'm going back home. So yeah. So that kept me going. Yeah. And then finally, 4 hours later, the next morning, 4 hours later, the Sherpa who came up, oxygen, right? And he came up just to check on me whether am I still alive. I mean, everybody knew I'm dead by now. Should have died. So then the moment he came in, saw me, I'm moving, and I was like, "Hey mate, let's go." You know what I mean? And he looked at me and said,
That's a miracle, yeah.
"You cannot die, huh? You're still alive."
You didn't die.
His expression was
Like couldn't believe.
Yeah. So I was like, no, like I said, I just waved at him. Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
Yeah, let's go. I keep saying let's go. Yeah. So then they radioed back to, hey, this guy is still alive. All right. So we need more oxygen. All of us need more oxygen among them, and we need fresh hands to help him down. So a couple of guys came from Camp 4. About 100 meters, dragged me down to Camp 4 and warmed me up, fed me water and all that. And an hour, and then a couple hours later, so we all tried to walk down, and I was struggling again. So they wrapped me up, they dragged me down to Camp 3, and then in Camp 3 we had and Camp 3 is quite a quite an adventurous place because it's not like a flat ground. It's like 45 degree. So what happens is that a helicopter could not land. So that was a struggle. So the only way to do a rescue is to do a long line rescue.
Right.
So the heli came and then they dropped a long line. Right. Hooked me up to my harness.
Yes.
And the message was, you have to be awake and hold the rope.
Right.
Because they do not carry dead bodies using such method, because that will crash the helicopter. So they say, are you awake? I said, yeah, I'm good to go. Don't worry, I'm good to go. So then I hugged on to the the long line, and less than 6-7 minutes arrived, landed. Then I landed in Everest base camp, and then I got up, and then unhooked and got into the helicopter. They took me to the nearest village hospital in Lukla. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the whole
Wow.
journey.
Sorry, my heart was beating until very, very hard when I heard this whole story. This is an amazing, and I mean, now that I've heard the whole story, and to see you now here like this is amazing. It's amazing. Willing to start here. Yeah. So, well, this really hasn't put you out of action. I mean, so what are your plans for the coming year?
Oh, okay. I mean, like I said, it was more mental than physical. So overcoming the mental challenge was what I had to go through. So, like I said, depression and all that. So, but after a couple of months, after getting out of it, it took a while.
Yeah.
So, much better, definitely much better. Then physically got back into action. So recently I've gone trekking in Kashmir.
Oh yeah, I saw those pictures.
Yeah, and then I skydived in Dubai. So these are some things I've been doing. I'm looking forward to get my prosthetics done maybe in a couple of weeks. So that
in Dubai?
Yeah, so that I can hold a beer bottle. I'm kidding. So that I can hold a trekking pole, and also probably the rope itself. Yeah. So looking at a couple of options, but definitely to complete the Explorers Grand Slam.
Which involves you going to the North Pole and the South Pole.
Ski to North Pole and ski to South Pole. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, these are all some inspiration which I got when I met some of these folks. Like Kusi Chua was one of them, and the other another Malaysian who has completed recently also. Yeah. So this gave me a lot of inspiration to get back in action and continue that. Rather than that's the only way to overcome your fear.
Yeah.
Because if you want to stay alive, you got to overcome your fears, man. Yeah. You can't be running away from it. Yeah? So this is just to me, it's just a temporary thing. Yeah. I don't think it's a temporary setback. I don't think it's going to stop me continuing what I'm doing right now. So pretty much I have started doing everything already. I mean, I've gone back into my consulting work already. At the same time, doing crazy activities, jumping off an aircraft, planning for the North Pole and South Pole.
Yeah.
North Pole has been closed for the last 6 years, so I'm not sure how that's going to turn up next year. But in the cards right now, plans are right now is the South Pole in December next year. Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, for people out there, right? Ordinary people who may not climb mountains.
We are all
ordinary. But let's say, I mean, the
I was ordinary too.
the
I'm
mountain
ordinary
is
too.
like a metaphor for difficult things in life, right?
Yeah.
So, for people who are facing difficult mountains right now in their life, can you give a word of advice or encouragement?
Yeah. For me, mountaineering was helping me build mental resilience. Yeah. So similarly, my advice to anyone out there is that find your challenge. Yeah. So and pursue your dreams. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Because if we think always about I got to worry about the typical Asian mindset of you graduate by 20, and then you have you get married, and then you have a couple of 2.5 kids statistically, and then continue the next 25 years working. Living such. That's great. That's one way of doing that. But if you have dreams, in terms of doing anything else apart from just not only climbing mountains or anything for the matter, so go ahead and do it. Or else you're gonna live a miserable life. Trust me.
Like regret is very hard to live with, right?
Correct, exactly. Yeah, you live a miserable life, that's for sure. Yeah, and that's a frustrating thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Wow. What a fantastic interview. And you learn something from Hui Xuan too. How a person like her gets to know someone like Rajan and speak his language, what transformation life. So Rajan's life was saved, and I think that will motivate him to go out and save lives, which is basically what we want to do in life. Okay, we want to empower people to live meaningful lives. In a sense, you are saving their lives, not just physically, but the total being, ultimately spiritually. So in the introduction to this Motivational Monday, I have written down 3 questions for your further reflection and learning. Okay. Number 1, how was Rajan's life saved? So you need to listen to the story or recall, how was his life saved? Okay. Who saved his life? Was it one person or many people? But who saved his life, and why did this person save his life? Okay. And how was Rajan responsible for his life being saved? How was Rajan responsible for his life being saved? These are really, really important questions for you to reflect. This is not just a story. Okay. So please share your answers as comments or on the Facebook page or PM me, because it's a time for learning for all of us. Okay, your life is not just meant to for you to be a consumer, a customer for pleasure. Okay, so thank you, everyone.